Hi, lady. Yeah, hi again, I guess.
Drink!
Yeah, that's a good shot. That's the thing that should happen, indeed. On my side, there are pretty good. Um, how can I say that? Earths. Uh, yeah. Uh, oh shit. 1 second. I know we talked about that before, but the Eon are pretty neat. I don't know if you have um, I don't know if you have access to them, but they're pretty neat for what they give back. Um, if you keep them. So that's me. That's me portfolio on one day, right? And so on the week, on the month, I think I invested in Eon around here or here, I forgot. The thing that is beneficial from it, technically speaking, is when you look at the 5-year pattern, we are in a very seesaw pattern, and we go back to basically the same values at the bottom and then at the top as well. 2021 being like, I mean, beginning of 2022 being very weird as a year, but overall, right, it's a similar thing. And so I invested about here, I think. So if we continue, we should move to 10 to 12, and then 10 to 11, sorry, and then go back down. So if I do the regular strategy, right, going back up to 10 or 12, and then selling, and then seeing it crash, and then reinvesting at the bottom, and then selling back, right? And so the period in between two things is about like a year. I mean, a bit less than a year, like 8 months. So that could be a thing, right? And it's a very cheap share, right? 9.30. Maria, hi, welcome on in. How are you? I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not okay. Not okay. Have a headache since yesterday. It's still there, so half a brain. Kate, hi. Yes, of course, Kate. But the thing that is the most interesting, Aiden, is the dividend paid. So for each share that you own, they give you back 50 cents, basically 40 cents per share. So if you get 10 shares, they give you $4. If you get 100 shares, they give you like $40. If you get 1,000 shares, they give you back $400 per month, which is pretty neat. You can also see that this is typed as May. I don't think that was the case, but anyways. So these things are pretty neat. I don't know if they have like a threshold on the amount of shares that you can have or own, but yeah, it's pretty neat. That's actually in a huge bath helps. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a bathtub anymore, so I can't do that. But also, it's external. How can I say? It is physical, mental, and personal stuff that create the headache, which is never good. But yeah, shit happens. What's the link, Kate? Give me link. Link. I can type link. Nick Hudson? Never heard of him. That. Oh shit, that's true. I have no fucking sound on that sound. That side. So she's doing illustration, but she wants to learn UX and shit. What do you mean next drop, Aiden? I could, so, Kane, I don't like to chat in other people's chats while I'm live. It's a bit weird for me. But the thing is, if I start to type in a chat, I can't like just go away. So it depends on what I want to do. It's also speaking Spanish, which is difficult for me to understand, even though, right, she speaks English as well. So I don't know. I could, but or guy the raid here can chat here next. But yeah, I keep that open-ish, the back of my head, potentially, but yeah. What? I can do that. Actually do that. Shit. These rules thingy on Twitch chat are just never read. I mean, I think so. I don't have. Let's see, I don't have a lot of sound or anything. At least I said I have no sound or things, so that makes sense. But yeah. Understand. I have like half of an ear to check. Yes. So, Aiden, you said something. You said in stock price drops. I mean, there is no...
It's muscle time!
Okay. Just wants to kill me. Alright. Alright. Oh, that doesn't help with the headache. Dying. Thank you, Eden. Want to kill me faster than usual. There's no real drop happening. I mean, it shouldn't have happened, Eden. As you can see, Apple is just climbing and climbing and climbing. We just had a crash at the beginning of the year, but that's, I mean, beginning of not so long ago. Thanks a lot for that. It's pretty neat. But okay, you can tell her it's fine. It's fine. I can just help. If she want to come in later, after, I can help. No need to sweat. But yeah, I mean, this is a fine curve for Apple overall. I wish I entered around here. I think my dad entered around here, but when he died, we received everything in cash rather than anything else. Damn. It's a lot of it. Already? Hayden? It seems like very fast though. Yeah, it's starting to get better on my side. There. But because I'm like dollar cost averaging in, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, nonetheless. Oh. But yeah, in terms of trades and stuff, that's neat. But yeah, I think I just not reverted, but like changed my investment strategy lately, just because I saw like someone say that the new investment is pretty safe to do like a dollar cost averaging inside of stocks. However, if you do dollar cost averaging inside of crypto, you will be burned because crypto is changing so rapidly compared to regular stocks that you will lose a lot of shit. So yeah, it is. It's a pretty good take. What screenshot? Which screenshot? Where screenshot? But yeah, it's investment is weird. Specifically now, everything is going back up. Technically speaking, like we are kind of climbing a bit, and it's starting to be interesting. Again, I don't know how long it will continue climbing, but yeah, that's the most interesting is basically now making sure that everything is Kane, why? What happening? You're trying to why does she have pizza with mushrooms or all the pizzas above her head? What? Yeah. You mean this, Aiden? That's the one that you... Yeah, pizza's good. Pizza's good. Oh. The headache is just like... the back of my head. Very bad. I mean, you sent a lot of screenshot. I think that's the only one that you sent that makes sense regarding the subject. Yeah. We still have to figure out some of the changes that we wanted to do on that newest potential UI kit type of thing that we will work on later. But yeah. It's neat. It's neat. Anyways, let me focus on that. But yeah, Kane, if you... I was about to say, if you can tell them that I'd be... Aiden, why do you want to make me go pee every 10 minutes? If they want to come in later, and if writing in English is fine, then we can do that. Otherwise, that would be a bit complicated to help. I can do my best, but you know. Was I? Yes. Right, so we had some talk about the design tokens, naming of tokens, stuff like this earlier this week. Second. Water is good for headaches. Yes, that's true. That is true. I can't deny that. However, I already drank too much, and the type of headache that I have are not exactly headaches. They are headaches, but they are not migraine either. So it's just fucking annoying. I should check. Physically speaking, if I have something, I might have something in my brain, which would be good. Dying faster. No, that's not true. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a thing that comes often for me, and I have like depends on the type, and depends on where it's located on the head, but they usually stay for like 3 to 5 days. So today's the second day, which is the highest. Tomorrow we'll probably have like a residue off, and then on Wednesday we'll be fine. But yeah, that's the annoying part with all that. So weird thing with my head. I forgot where the fuck it is. I know it's in the documentation section, but I know I should. I'm too lazy to do it though. Yeah, it shouldn't be in here. It should be in another. In here? Probably. They have jobs? Sorry, I'm not looking at that. It's not the thing that we're doing. Anyways, so we have themes. I'm looking at the tailwind things that we can have, right? In the thing that I want to have contain basically themes for accessibility. We don't really change colors or the fonts themselves, but we might change the range in which we do the color thingy. So for example, let's say we have like, let's do one of these. Sorry, I think I took one too many. Right, so let's say maybe in the regular theme we would use this one as a background and this one as a color. Maybe in the accessibility one we would do the same thing. Oli, hi. It is an early stream. Indeed, how are you? That's a long message. I hope English is fine. Appreciate the long thing. I need to read that. And then yeah, maybe in the accessibility theme, instead of the 90, we use the 100 on top of it. When we usually do that. You horrible! What happened? You just woke up, or? That's nice. Did you just start your day, Oli? That's a lot. So Nekatsen. Let me read that. From Argentina, Ascane. Microbiologist, that's really interesting. Jed, thanks a lot for the lurk. Have a good games today. Appreciate it. Enjoy the Fall Guys if you're playing Fall Guys. Take some rest. I know that you need to sleep. But yeah, I appreciate you lurking. I'd like to switch my career to something on IT the other day. I think on Friday we were talking about UX, UI, which I'm trying to learn. I'm really new to that. But Kane pushed me to the stream. I hate him. Why? I already stole a few Figma plugins you should. Good. Good. So, Nekatsen. I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you want to lurk, feel free to lurk. I don't know if you can hear anything that I say at this instant, but if you do, right, if you do, lurk in as much as you want. That's appreciated. If you have any fucking question, do not hesitate to ask. And as always, there is no bad question. As I always say, at some point in my career, I didn't know how to do a rectangle in a design tool, so we all have to grow at some point. So yeah, do that. If you have questions, and if you have more specific questions, feel free to ask as well. But if you are not lurking at the moment because you're streaming, I understand, and I'm guessing Kane would transfer the message. But yeah, Aiden, have a good load. Only I was I was on your website earlier today on mobile. Did you change something about it? I think you did. I think you did change stuff on it a bit. Like, no? Yes? The header seemed different. But also, maybe it was because I was on mobile rather than desktop. That's, yeah, it's just because I was on mobile. Okay, fine, that makes sense. Oh, and I can't scroll for some reason. I can't scroll on it. Weird. Good. Thanks a lot, Kane, for... Also, where is the tabs thingy? I don't know, it doesn't scroll on my side. I have reloaded multiple times, but it doesn't let me whichever. Weird. It's weird. I scrolled earlier on mobile, like with not that, with no issues, but then oh yeah, I mean the scroll bar just popped in. However, I can scroll on the other pages. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's the ad blocker that just created something. I don't think so, but it's weird. I can't drag down. I can select stuff, but I can't. Weirdly enough, I can't fucking scroll. I can zoom out. But yeah, nah, you didn't change anything. It's just mobile view was a bit different, and so I thought the heading, the text at the top was pretty good. So it doesn't do anything. Even if I try to drag below, doesn't do shit. I can do that, and I can scroll here, so that's pretty weird. Clicked on the wrong thing, and now I can't scroll. Really interesting. Well, that's the thing. I found a bug. I think it's an issue on my side. I don't know why though. That's the thing. It makes no sense to me that I can't have scroll enable. Now it's the same thing on... That's weird, it's the same thing on the PC. I don't have scroll available, even though I have the thing. Oh, that's really weird. Like it shouldn't Like I can scroll on other websites, which makes sense, but I can't scroll on yours. That makes absolutely no sense. Nonetheless, I was praising your header again, like last time, but now I can't scroll. So that's weird. I don't know what's happening. But something happening for sure. It's really weird that it's across the Mac and the PC. Like that makes no sense. And I don't have any fucking browser available on this one that could test it out. So it's not. Oh, the Opera JX is loud as fuck. Sorry, it has. Oh, I can scroll on Opera, so Opera is working. Opera is giving me all the things that I need. But yeah, nah, it's fine. But yeah, your hero header is neat. As always, the color are good. But where the question that I had was, where is the tabs thingy that we looked at, the logo about 2 months ago ish? Yeah, it's scroll. I mean, scroll for me too now, but not really. Also, I saw that you did the you did chat thingy. Which is interesting. It had a lot of bounce to it. Yeah, I did a lot of bounce. I don't really know if it's like usable in a way. Mainly every time. So the thing that I saw, right, was every time you had a new message, you had like a tiny, right, so it went down first, like elastic, bouncy stuff, so it goes down and then goes back up, which I also saw in the video that you shared, and yeah. Looks good on small chat, yeah. I'd say it's a good thing. It's very close to Chat ID, right? From the thing that you can use on Stream Elements from VBI, I think. Take your time. And if you want to share, of course. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. Also, I'm guessing this is like a local, like you need something to run in the background to get all the call to go through, and so it's not as independent as Stream Element would be, for example, but things would work anyways. So yeah, going back to these things. What do you mean? Sorry, I'm saying the chat in itself is not Like, it needs something to fetch the messages, and that's something to run in the background while you're streaming. It's not self-hosted as Stream Element would be. Or is it? If it is, that's good. If it is, that's good. We use no caps for naming variable, which is interesting. I'm thinking about having a base theme, a light theme, and a dark theme as separated elements rather than light being the base one, right? So the light would be a bit lighter than the base one potentially. And then I kind of want to have like a custom option, something so like a client dash custom. So that would mean these things, technically I don't exactly know what would be inside, so it's just basically all the variables inside of it. I don't think that would change anything anyways, but we have like a base theme that is the default based on the style guide that we are on right now, and then you can add like a lighter theme which potentially is just like a black and white and a light and white and black, right? So the light one is a black on white and the dark theme is a white on black. It's just one switch. I don't know if it's an option. I'm thinking about getting one of these type of theme going at some point as well. So in the reference that we have and that are pretty good overall, they are. I was about to say there are new trends. They are not really new trends. They are things that existed for a long time, but similarly to what Instagram is doing, sadly I can't really showcase Instagram. They have a very black and white user interface without really having a lot of grays, and so I would love to see that. Right, so here, for example, if you are there, the only thing that is grayish is the background. The rest is black and white, and so I kind of want to have potentially even the background here to be extremely white rather than light gray. Same thing for the search, same thing for the menu, same thing for everything, making sure that we have like a very black and white thing, and so that the content is what bring colors and life to things like these tiny cakes, right? That I don't know. I'm thinking could work. Even Dribble is very black and white if I'm thinking about it. Like it's just black and white and pink, and a tad of gray, but still. It's gray on some occasions, not gray all over. So yeah, I don't know exactly how I can explain that. So base would be our regular white gray shades, subtle design choices here and there, and then light and dark would be very well, as I said, black on white and white on black, so avoiding the amount of potential grays, meaning that we would have like the same thing. It would be white as a dominant, black as a secondary, and accent color as a tertiary, and then on dark it would be dark as a dominant, white as a secondary, and then accent in the same places. So because the accent that we have is very bright in terms of visibility on the dark colors, maybe on the light theme we need to choose another specific shade to make sure that it's visible as well. So the example that we usually share is this one. So let's say that this is our light color and this is our darkest-ish background type of thing. If we had a block and then we use the same green that is currently our primary, we can see that here it's way more visible than here, specifically if for some reason we have like a very tiny thing at, I don't know, 12 maybe. The visibility of the right side is way higher than the visibility on the left side. So potentially on the light mode we would need to use the 90 instead of the 50, as I said earlier, right, to make sure like accessibility and all that to be respected. And when you look at them side by side, right, if I were to do this, they are still very close, but at least that makes things a bit more accessible. I don't think, however, that these things are passing here. However, these two, yes, 100%. So in terms of what's passing, I think this one passes. That's no good. So maybe maybe I need to change my main color. I don't know. This is too dark for the effect that I want. Maybe my 90 needs to just be bumped in terms of color. So going down to here potentially. It's OC6. That's still not good. I don't fucking know at this point. It's green. The green will never be accessible on white. It's annoying. Anyways, that's the thing, right? That's the thing that I have in mind. So technically, in here, we may have the ability to just do that and change some of the values, as I said, to gain some very useful stuff. I don't really know how to say that at this point. Client custom, and then let's add another one that would be just other, just in case. Just in case for now, I just want to keep some viable thingy. In terms of the discussion that we had last time, related to the font sizes, I kind of think that the more time that we use the same values, the better it will be to have consistency across the design itself and across the variables. So if we define that base is 1 REM for our value in our basic REM is 16 point at least for today. I kind of want to have the same options related to radiuses and make sure that that exists as well. So that means that we have the ability to do more than that, but maybe that's the thing that is annoying. That's if I use like that same scale in terms of radius, we need to go way smaller in terms of values. So we would be at like 7xs rather than just regular xs as we are here. So I don't really know if that's a thing. Like we can go to 7XL, but I don't think we can go to 7XS. And basically, I don't need like a third option here. I don't know if that would work. Ooh. Second. It's better. So if I do like the regular 16 here, we don't really have good values. That's what it's annoying, specifically because of the font. Specifically because of the font, right? We have like a lot of decimals and a lot of shit here and there that are necessary for REMs to make sure that we have everything that works. But I'm thinking maybe our one REM could be 8 rather than 16, giving us a bit less negatives at 0 point something and a bit more in the positive sides. That would make basically that makes the 2 points increment at 0.25 rather than 0.17 something. So but then if you have the dilemma of getting the variable across all the necessary values identical, a bit annoying. Right, if that is that's just our radiuses, right? And we say this is our base. If we get a 0.5, it's 8. It's 2. So this one is a 0.25. And then 0.25 divided by 2, I don't know. No. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. But in between, we also have like a 6 from time to time. We also have like a 12 and 10 from time to time. So all of these values that are currently in tiny SM and XS, right? All of that needs to happen. True, we started a bit earlier, but welcome on in. I hope you're good. Big ass headaches and a lot of shit happening, so I need to focus on one side rather than the other. So basically this side of my face right here has the headache, the other side is fine, so half a brain. Not really. It's just I binge watch like a TV show and spend too much time on top of screens. When I look at screens for too long, I got headaches. Makes a lot of sense. If that was our values, that would mean five, right? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Doing the work is my secret. That's basically it. I just do the fucking thing. I don't really think about it. It's just I do something, I do it. It's I mean, you can do that. That's also a thing, but that's so much easier and so much cleaner than the other fucking values that we have right there. Fucking hard stuff here and there. But yeah, we need like 10, we need 12, we need all that. So in order to focus on stuff that you need to do and pull through, I mean, it helps sometimes. I wouldn't say that it's the thing that I'm saying to myself every time, but if I don't do the work that I'm supposed to do, I don't really have a job, in which case, if I don't get paid, I don't eat cakes. If I don't eat cakes, I'm unhappy. So if I don't want to be unhappy, then I need more cakes. If I need more cakes, I need money. If I have money, then I'm good. Right? So that's a thing that helps to pull through. So, but it depends. Sometimes you kind of need to have like a lot of bullshit task to be done in order to like clean up your brain on the thing that you need to do around the house. So like having a workout, cleaning the floors, washing the dishes, all of these things sometimes are helping you to just clean out your environment. And so cleaning out your environment is in terms cleaning out your inner brain. But sometimes that helps, right? You need to do all that before you can continue on other things, and that may help. So you can do that. I think. So let's see. We need 100% for sure a weird ass value in the middle of these two. So we need like a 12. So 12 is 1.75? No. 0.75. That's 12. And then we probably needed a 6. But I don't know how to calculate that. Not easily, at least. So let's just take 12. And so in terms of the variables, right, the thing that I said earlier, having the same variable as the fonts may be really interesting for everyone. However, the discussion that we had on the font size made kind of sense on the radius side and spacing, because radius and spacing would be exactly the same. That may be a bit of a different discussion. I mean, if we define a variable with a spacing of 4 as a small space and a small radius, and then tomorrow I say, well, the small is not 4 anymore, it's now 5, then we need to change the variable, right? It changes everywhere and we don't need to go back in the file, so that's the main goal. Yeah. But if we do that, how do we do it? It's the main question. Getting like values and variables that are identical. Identical is impossible, I think, specifically because of the types of values that we have. I don't think I can apply XS with a value of 0.5 on the radiuses and spacing, but XS with a value of 0.75 on fonts. That makes no real sense to me. Like, it's a bit confusing to say this is our value. I don't know, it feels weird. It feels weird to me. Also, I feel like that I made a mistake. It's okay. It's better than 0 for this. I wouldn't say it's good. I would say it's okay. The return on investment is usually expected to be higher than 100%. That's better. But sometimes it's not achievable. So if 11% is the only thing that can be achieved, then it's okay. But yeah. Oh no, 11% means you invested 100 and you got 11% back. So you got 11 back as a return on the investment. Or maybe I don't know my math, which is an option as well. Very good option, to be honest. Alright, let's check. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you said Man of Steel budget is 225 million. The box office gave them 37 or 3,377 million, meaning that the difference in between these two, the cost of the budget, like 225, I don't have. That's like 225 minus, not exactly, but right, minus 377. That gives you 152, and then you get the 152 minus, how much did you say, 42? So basically they probably had 110 spread out for other things in terms of budget after production, and so the 42 that is left is just the profit. But that seems weird. It seems like a non-exact value. It seems, if to me at least, it seems that the return on the investment is 377. That's the ROI. However, the profit is 152. Time is not wasted. So as long as you are above your initial investment, which is 100%, right, then you're good. But if your ROI is like, what is 11%, it's not exactly good. I mean, if they made the entire thing for 200 million and they got almost 400 million as a return, that means that the 400 millions minus the initial investment, the return on the investment is 400. So that means that they have like basically a 50% above, no, a 100% above. So that's pretty good. But then you said profit as 42. So I don't exactly know how they get 42 of profit. Maybe paying staff and all that. I don't know. But 11% from what I know seems like a low value. But can be a thing. Can be a thing. This shit. Right, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah. That's a good ROI, right? 225%. That's what you expect. That is what you expect. Probably. But half the time is not like is CG, so. Oh, sorry. That one for spacing they use 4 points for the 1 REMs. However, on the fonts, they're using a 16 point for the 1 REM. So that's a bit weird to me. So that means, Ollie, if you're lurking and you can hear me, I don't think so, but maybe if you can you have multiple REMs values for different things rather than one singular for the entirety of the project? So as I said right there have 1 REM fonts being 16 points and 1 REM spacing being 4 points. That seems weird to me. That seems like a not so good thing to work with. Or maybe I don't understand the documentation. I know. But isn't it like shouldn't you define your REM or your EM value? Like, the main issue is just on Tailwind stuff, we have 1 REM equals 16 points in fonts, but 1 REM equals 4 points or 4 pixels in spacing. And so it's the same value of 1 for REM that is equal to 2 different things, and that makes no sense. EM are not by default 16, EM are by default whatever you want to do. So you can do an REM of 1 if you wanted to, which makes no sense, but can be a thing. Could be really useful, but yeah, so it's relative to the base size, but right in here specifically, that's the case that I have. It's like 4 points for spacing or pixel, because they say pixel equal 1. So 4 pixel equal 1 REM. However, on their base font, 1 REM equals 16 points. So it's not equal. It's not like 1 REM in font equal 4 points and 1 REM in spacing equal 4 points. It's just they use 2 very viable different values, and that seems weird. I think like setting the REM to a value that is easily multiplicable could be way easier for anyone. Like to, rather than having like 1 REM at 16, having 1 REM at 4, meaning that our default font will be like 3, makes bigger values in REMs, but I don't know. The fact that they have very different values makes more sense. Yeah. So the benefits of REMs and EMs values in general is a great thing. I agree. It's just like 1 equals 4 and 1 equals 16 in the same base doesn't seem to be an option. That's my main question. Like, can we do that? I don't think it's recommended, and I don't think it's a good idea overall. Like, they have these 1 REM at 16 right there, and then in radiuses that they had, what the fuck was that? Theme, they have pixels. 4 pixels equal 1. I know it's just a label, but it's just, if the label of 4 is equal to 1 REM and 1 REM equal like 16 points. I mean, you're telling me that the label of 4 for the spacing would be equal to 16 if our EM value is based to 16, which seems to be the case. But it says 4, and then the value of 16 is equal to 4 REMs. That's just... I mean, the label of 16. So... yeah. Yeah, that's weird to me. That is weird to me. Maybe they have like a thing with spacing somewhere. Neptune, hi, welcome on in. Yeah, no, I'm not criticizing. Fuck, that fucking word is difficult. Criticizing it. I'm just. It felt weird to see like 4 equal 1 when on other places we had 1 equals 16. So that was the thing. And I mean, if you explain it as they are labels, that makes a lot of sense because you can do anything. But if your 1 is still equal to 16 in values, because your EM's base is based to 16 points, as we saw on the font size, then it's weird to me that the label is 4 for the spacing, right? Like, if I have my block here and my block here, and then I say, well, my value right there for my spacing is called 4. That's that it's labeled. If I am someone who design with that value, and so that I'm creating like a system that can be easily understood or understandable, if I have like a label that is called 4, but 4 is equal to 16 pixels in values. I know that it's because they are variable values, 16 is arbitrary numbers as well, but it just feels weird to understand, rather than if you made your value 16 and your base is 16, then when you have a spacing that is supposed to be 16, then it's displayed as 16. When you have like a spacing that is supposed to be at 4, then you get a label is saying 4. And so that's where the same discussion that we had with fonts, we are kind of talking about REMs and EMs, yes. The discussion that we had with fonts last week, which was really interesting, with the XS, SM, and values like this, I would do the same thing with values or labels as XS, SM, mid, medium, all that, right? Yeah, my user is a developer. That's the goal. So I'm not designing a product I'm not designing a thing that the user, customer would be able to change. The goal is to make the life of the devs as easy as possible, while thinking about them using Tailwind as their base. So so my goal my goal is for it to make sense for the designer and the developer at the same time, and because the UI kit in itself would be in the hand of the designer first, I'm also extremely biased here. I kind of want to make more sense for the person who builds something with it before it goes in the hands of the devs, which if the labels are similar, then I'm not I mean, I am criticizing the naming convention in terms of viable values, specifically on labels. The point that I'm saying is just, if you have a label called 0 and the space is equal to 0, but then a label called 1 and the space is equal to 2 in terms of pixels, that makes no sense to me. I mean, like it's a 0 equals 0, 1 equal 2, 2 equal 3, I think. That's their things in the padding space between type of thing they have. So that's why it was a bit weird, or it is a bit weird to me to understand how and why they have these things. I don't know if that makes sense. I know, but if I think about how Figma works, that's the thing. When I'm defining like a space in between two things, I have 8 that is showcased to me, even though I should think about it. I mean, I wish Figma would showcase variables and percentage. I think I can. I think I should. I had an option to showcase percentage if you pressed another value. I forgot which one. No, forgot. No, I agree. So, I was about to say, in general, I think we agree. Right? If Figma was to at some point say, well, you know what, let's do EMs available for everyone, right? And so, sorry, something is weird here. Why? Weird, sorry. Like, if we had the ability to define a system of spacing based on how it looked rather than pixels on the screen, then yes, that would be the naming that we had just earlier in the theme section, spacing section right here, right? That makes no sense to me. That's just like a spacing of 1 equal 8 pixel. It's weird. It's a weird thing to think about, specifically because this one is set to pixels, as you said earlier, and I absolutely agree with you. I shouldn't think in pixel anymore. We should think about viable values to make sure that it's flexible regarding the type of screen that the person has, and the display that they use to watch or use the website or apps that we are building. But these things, like if I know that the end result is equal to 8, I would much rather prefer to have this said 8, 12, 16, 24, 32, 48, if it's valued like this. And then because we're still bound to physical value in the end, even though EMs are just variable values, we still render them as pixel because screens are using pixel for now, until we find new technology that just get rid of pixel altogether, would be fine. But this is weird. These values, that makes more sense to me, right? If you say small equal 8, lemonade, hi. Thank you for the look. Thank you for the eyebrows. And the shiny eyes. So, right, that's a way better labeling system compared to the other ones, in my views. Yeah. I love how accurate they are, even though I have no eyebrows, just being able to track points and face. Please. But yeah, it's just weird. You got that 1 equal 021 REMs equal 4 pixels. That's so weird. But because it's arbitrary, right? Because our 1 REM is equal to 16 pixels, it's just... I mean... Yeah, yeah. Yes. Of course. Wasn't it this... Didn't you had one with like a pink bar at the top? I forgot about that. I mean, forgot about that. I remember about this specific thing. I don't know if it was you or not you. Maybe it was. No, yeah, I know exactly why it's useful. It's just the way that they name it. Like, it makes no sense to me to name something 1 when it's physically not 1. It's just confusing to me when you are a dev and you are here and you are inspecting the elements and you see a value of 8, and then in your head you need to know that 8 point is equal to a value of 2 in the label naming convention of the spacing that you have on your product, which, because you define that as a 2, that makes no sense. So rather than this, I would say, well, maybe it's easier to remember that 8 is like mid. It's a mid-level space of 8 point that just showcase this, and so potentially you can have like a value of things. And so here, if 8 instead of 2 is called medium, then you're good. And maybe 1.5 is tiny, and this one is small, and then this one is extra small. So you have like a regular spacing convention that is aligned-ish to the way that you name your font sizes. That's the main point. That is the main point. Yes, I mean a screenshot. It's like it's so weird. There is not even a single thing where the value is equal to the value on any sides, right? I mean, the only one that is equal is 0 is equal to 0 pixel, which is equal to 0 REMs, right? All that makes plenty of thing. Yeah, but so for fonts, yes. For fonts, yes, we agree. For fonts is good. I do prefer text large rather than H1, even though H1 is still something that exists. However, I'm guessing that for spacing it's the same thing. But when you do space or class equals spacing 2 or spacing dash 2, you will have like your thing that showcase what it is. It's just, it's a mental gymnastic for the devs, for the designer, if you think about it, even though you don't really think about it, to remember which one it is at first glance, right? If you're on Figma, you see that the spacing is 8 points on the inspector, and then you need to convert in here. It's the same thing for the text style. The benefits of the text style here is I can potentially, and that's my goal, change that value of display/16 to text LG, which is basically what we have here at the top, because that's the one that we have. But right, that's the main point. Just want to rename things to make sense to the devs and to make sense to the designers at the same time. So, interesting. I'm guessing someone types in chat, we have the message that pops here. Right? So you get a lot more informations than much better on the bounce. Yeah, no, I agree. But I like the animation better than what you shared on Twitter earlier. Default. So that changes to your color. That's interesting. So brand is using Twitch colors, and monochrome is using the brand color that you define. Right, and default is just using the chat messages. The bounce is the same, but it just looks quieter here, or better here, because we have less people. Yeah, well, yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, I can change that, define my green, potentially. Not exactly this one, but right, that makes sense. Yeah, so if I say 4 percenter, it should, on the next message, it should display just the last 4, right? Exactly. That's neat. And the thing that you said as well was, oh, save changes. Yeah, too late. The thing that you said was it's in OBS, the this thing is not visible really. Indeed, it's still in the URL. Interesting. It would be interesting to have. I'm thinking, right, at the same time, it could be interesting to get the no. Do that. Let's do a 1920 by 1080 just as a base. So we have the thing that is still there, but we still have the chat, so that's good. And it's transparent, so that just means, technically speaking, if I just was to resize things like here, I get no values. That's neat. Need to test on Windows rather than on Mac. Let's see. So Windows, we still have the same thing. I mean, still have. We also have the values. Stony high. Welcome on in. So we have the thing. So right, stream here is on Windows. Stream here is on Mac. So we both have the tools available, but what I like about the way that you had it, right, how you explained it with the values of the settings are set to the URL, that basically mean that in my URL thingy here, if I wanted to say, well, on this one I just want to have 8 rather than 4, and my username being default to something else, I can change that. And if I press OK, it should refresh it. You can see that some things changed here. So that's a good stuff overall. I don't think I can interact with the thing, and I don't think it would work. Don't think it could work. Let's duplicate this one. But we have this in full screen. I also want to add, so we'll get rid of the chat on that side.
Pleasant Ostrich is now following.
Pleasant Ostrich. Oh, Ostrich. Fuck, that's a weird, difficult name to pronounce for me. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome. Thanks a lot for the follow. I appreciate it. So let's do what? Let's do regular. That's not the one that I wanted. Yeah, more pinkish type of thing. Yeah, okay, good. And then put that under so that we have details. Good. Pleasant Ostrich. Oh, come on in. Damn. So yeah, that's the thing that I was about to say, Oli, in the settings. I'm sure you're working on that. Like, no doubt. For people who paste like big ass messages, like Stream Element right now, I know you said on the Twitter that you are working on excluding bot accounts and excluding things. So I'm thinking like a text wrap or a text break option defining the max width could be neat. We're not really helping Oli, we are looking at what Oli created. I love that though. So I love that. I love that the username and the hashtags in the messages in the chat shit are popping up in different colors. That's pretty cool. You're someone channel then went find you interesting. Pleasant Ostrich, are you from Austria? Or are you just Pleasant Ostrich as an ostrich? Next to adding tooltips and filtering out user, yes. Let's refresh. Yeah, then now because I have. It seems the thing has disappeared. Type in chat, yeah. So we don't have good. So you don't have this pop in anymore. So that's good. And and yeah, I like that. I like that. So potentially, how much do you want it to be customized? And I'm sure you have plenty of ideas already, but how much do you want it to be customized and working overall? That's true. You could scale. So I'm thinking. Listen, I think you could have a checkbox on the way that chat is displayed. So currently you have it in line where the name and the message are similar to how Twitch does it. Potentially you could have like a checkbox or an activation or thing in the settings section to define the orientation, right, with name and then messages right under. So that the visual alignment of the start of each message is always the same. We just have the color highlight at the top. Specifically, I'm thinking about this because that specific design right here with the one-liner type of thing is much better for... Not that, much better for... what the fuck was I about to say? Much better for inline things like I have on mine, right? So this makes more sense. Yeah. I think if you just want to have, if you just want to have people to use it in their stream, thinking about it as a vertical first and an option to be horizontal potentially, the only thing in my view that you need to add is the line break for long messages, right? So from what I've seen, like I want to have enough options that people can add in their own stream. This is cropped at the end when you pass like half the width of just the view. Yeah, like 75% of the view width. You get hyphen dot at the end of your messages, and so just the line break to make sure that the entirety of the message is visible. That would be the only thing that I would potentially add, right? If I write this message right here specifically, goes through everything right now, so that's good. But it needs it needs to break. Like similarly to fruitless messages, I think just a max width messages max width. That's the only thing that you need to have, and then a line break with the thing, and that's shippable in no time. And for this, there is the There is the game UI database, which is not exactly the one that I recommend at all times, but you can take a look at that website right here to get like a good base of game UI database. They have a lot of shit. The one that I support though is this one, Interface and Game, just because the UI of the website is better in my views, and I support the person that created it as well. But it's pretty neat. It's overall, they don't have like all the games, but at least you have like a cool overall in UI, and you can check things and say, okay, so this is the UI that they decided to have for that specific menu. It's using that specific use case, and you have other things and screenshots and all that. So what do you mean, can you produce this in Figma? Yes, of course. This has probably been done in Figma. The only thing that you can't do in Figma right now is the 3D things with the rotation, but the rest of all that, I'm guessing that the first draft may have been done on either Figma or directly in Unity or whichever game engine that they used. But yeah, you can absolutely see that neat detail right there. Sorry. All that is really neat. The glitchy glass is just something that is added afterward on the game engine, but I'm guessing that the first sketches, if you go in here and you click on this one, for example, this is a very simple type of design. It's a very flat overall design. There is not a lot of effects from what I can see. There's some glow here and some rotation here and there, but this seems to have been made entirely in the game engines, but also they are like PNG assets. TVs are PNG assets that are just reused with some overlay for color changes, but the overlay is placed on the entirety of the screen. So these things, right, can be achieved in Figma with no issues. The effect that you have, like in the oh shit, you can't zoom in. The effect that you have in the background here also, like this is just a repetition thing. So yes, you can achieve the same thing in Figma. You can achieve the same thing in Photoshop. I'm guessing most of the skeuomorphism design thing are basically done in Photoshop rather than vector tool, even though this one might have been done in vector tool. Did you send me a chat? Stretch? Where? To me. And holy, where is you? That. I think the most fun thing to do for me on game UI is the badges. Badges are fun to do, like medals and shit. That's neat. That is neat. Yeah. And that's why I don't have anything on my Behance, really, just because everything is outdated. That's not exactly exactly where I like my current design skills are way over this, like, sorry, way over the skills that I had at the time when I posted things, right? And I guess you are in the same thing. Honey!
333 Honey rated my stream with 4 viewers.
How are you? How have you been? How was your stream? I hope you're good. As always, if you need sleep, drink, all that, do that. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm AOA. AOA? AOA, no H. The helping designer, so if you have any design question, feel free to ask. I helped Honey on their stream overlay at some point. 36 hours with no sleep, that's no good. You need to sleep. You need to sleep. I thought you were on Fall Guys lately. Did you change game finally? Finally decided to change game? But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know Honey, Honey is someone who does variety streaming, trying to get all that. Working out. Yeah, mostly Fall Guys that I've seen, at least. And also some very cute games, but I don't understand them. It's another thing. Right now we're looking at a lot of shit and trying to work on a thing. Oh yeah, shit, I was about to say, well, like this. And yeah, Pleasant Ostrich, congrats on 1.5k, that's pretty cool. However, remember that you're on someone else's stream and you're basically advertising your stream at the same time, so please don't do that. That would be highly appreciated to not do that at the same time. Yeah, that's a pretty overall clean UI changes. The thing that I don't understand, Holly, is there is no H in your fucking name, Holly. The save changes doesn't seem to be needed, right? Like, every time I do a change, if I click outside, it's like it works. So I don't know if it's needed for you to do that. Oh no, and Oni, it's not about you. You're fine. So you said you swapped off Fall Guys sponsor raid Shadow Legend. Indeed. We need the money, right? No, you rated. You have all the rights to advertise your stuff. You rated. Yeah, no. I missed so many messages. To avoid confusion when moving it to OBS, I added a button to make it clear. You should update the URL before adding it to OBS. Oh, yeah, because that value here is not that value here unless I save changes, which refreshes, then give me the right. No, it didn't change shit. If I change like the value here to 8 and I press enter, it changed my limit in here. So if I do Oli JT, yeah, didn't you have the Oli JT, or that's just on Twitter. If I change that, and I didn't press save, it still tracked mine, even though the address or the URL is here. However, if I press save changes, it should technically not show me my messages because now it's okay. That makes sense. Why not automate it? As in, if you type something in a field and then you get out of the field, it automatically saves, like auto-save of the stuff. I don't know. So there is Amatrin who is doing some emotes type of thing. I don't know if they would do. Styles like yours, specifically. No, I am so picky indeed. It's my 18 months anniversary. That's not the thing that I wanted to click on. Right, so that's the style she worked on lately. The first top, I think that's hers. These ones are from another person. But maybe that works. My favorite person to do emotes, I don't know if Mel would be available for you. At the moment, she has a lot of things, but Mel is amazing. She created a lot of emotes and for a lot of different channels. And she also does like a lot of, like, he changed everything lately from the cheap to a new mascot. That's pretty neat. They are pretty neat. And the last one is Plush. I think Plush emotes are amazing, but also she might be expensive. I did answer your question. I was showcasing all the emotes artists that I have. So Plush has amazing emotes overall. Style is great, and I love everything that she does. However, it might be more expensive than regular thing. So it's Plush. Shit. Plush, that's number one. Second one might be less expensive, but still. Male. And last one is this one. Robin Spy, hi, welcome on in. Yeah, so that's the three, Honey, that's the three ads. That's the three base that could be interesting for you, that I know at least. Three creator of emotes could be interesting. Amatrin has an Etsy shop that you can visit if you want to. URL, interesting. Yeah. I mean, you made the hashtag as well, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, so these are the three, and then as always, if you check all of my Stream Element alerts in chat, there is one for VBI. In VBI, you will have you will have the option to find emotes if you wanted to, even though they are like packs that probably other streamers already have, but they are like cheaper than commissioning someone, and you might find something that works with you. So I would do that as well. And if you follow the link that is somewhere in chat, I forgot where the fuck it is. Do I have it here? I don't. I think you can do exclamation mark VBI in chat, but I'm not sure if it works. Yeah, you can. So this link, latest link in chat, and the code that goes with it gives you like a bit of a discount. So even though they are extremely cheap already, in my views, you can get like a set of emotes for even cheaper, and there might be enough as a beginning, right? You get all that for 15 bucks, and basically with the 10% off, it's like 14 something. Well, something.
Malakurica 14 is now following.
Malakurica, welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? And yeah, if you also have like animated emote slots, do that. They do look cool today. Appreciate that. This is the frame that works with that t-shirt. That's why it's this one today. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. I don't know, I like that. Like that. But yeah, VBI is cool for emotes. You can also go to the currents of own. Oh, nice. Great. So yeah, in here you also have like emote packs and shit. And I don't know exactly, I mean, in my views, the quality of owned is a bit lower than the quality of VBI, but also in terms of pricing, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. So to be defined. And then the last one is not visual by impulse, not own.tv, it's the third one. It's the fucking name. I see the site, I see the website in my head. I know exactly how it looks. I know who is in the front page. I know the name of their, not the name, I know how the latest stream overlay look, but I don't fucking know the name of the website at the moment. Oh, Nerd.eye. Fuck me. That took me a long time. And the last one is Nerd.eye, which already also have better quality than owned, but still, yeah, it could be good. Could be good, right? So in there you may have emotes right there. Yeah, you can have emotes for $43. And here you have emotes for $5. So you also have free Twitch emotes if you wanted to. Twitch text emotes, similarly to what Ollie have, weirdly enough. I do like yours, Ollie, though. But yeah, you can go in here and instead of commissioning someone who will make you pay 300 per emote, you can buy a set of 8, 9, 12 for $5. And it works. So yeah, check out all of these links. Oh, you have new emotes, by the way. You have the thank you emote that I haven't seen before. Nice Find is neat as well. A bit less readable than the lurk mode, or lurk land, because of the IC. Not new, but it's I see them for the first time. Sec. That's good. But yeah. That's a long ass message, right? That takes the entirety of the bottom of the page. Not the entirety of Twitch website, but not the stuff, the staff. I mean, no, Stony, not really. But today is like a holiday in France, so we're good. Like I haven't had anything done, whatever, so we're good on that. And we need to have like a discussion later this week, hopefully. I don't know when that will happen, potentially. At some point. I don't know. Yeah, a bit. Not really. I say that, not really big beef overall. It's just how things are in terms of some potential discussion in the future of the product and where we want it to go. But yeah, I don't know yet. I do not know yet. What do you mean I'm not so good at giving a rant? It depends on the rant. I'm also very careful in what I'm saying, because it stays online, accessible. So I still need to not be as extreme as I would like to be. That makes sense. Anyways. No! Wrong button. So yeah, other than what I said, Oli, which I think you already put in place on your list, have a good day at work, Robin Spine. Appreciate you being here, appreciate you lurking. Welcome you back when you come back. Other than the line break, that would change everything. Like I would really have the card, just the card expand with 2 lines rather than just 1. That's the first thing. So going back to VBI, I just want to the thing that we have on I don't know if we have anything, to be honest. The thing that we have here, right? These designs for text messages, for chat messages with the user on top of the block of text. I think that's easier to read. A bit easier to read, but you know, we never know. I also like, as I said, I also like the inline one, specifically for the bottom section. I really don't like the lighter BG. What do you mean? Oh, the lighter. Yeah, nah, you need it. You need it for the separation with the background. Otherwise, you miss on all the things, Sony. That's the... I know you don't like it, but it's either that or lining up would be difficult. No, you can't really. If you still want to have the effect that is visible, you can't have a darker background. That's just, it won't work. I've seen that you changed the purple a bit. You lose, like, visually also, because I changed my computer monitor, I can't see the same shit, right? But you lose the effect that is here. Shit. Look at this here, like that tiny thing that we added to make it a bit elevated. I mean, elevated. Visually bumped. I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird. Sorry. Like, if you have a lighter background, it makes more sense. What is the color of the header right now? Are you using the lighter thing? I mean, you all, but where is it defined? Yeah, so use 20 and that's not the right place. I don't understand why these things don't work. Why can't I change that fucking thing? Right, if we go to 20, if you go to 20, I agree, that's way too light. But because you lose the separation with the cards. If you, by the way, I don't know if it flickers for you, it flickers a bit for me. But if you go with lighter like this, which I think is better to have the same color for the header and the content, specifically also on the sidebar, I would personally get the sidebar to be using a specific color as well, similar to this one. And then the box shadow should not exist. I don't think it's useful. Have enough visual things. But yeah, and then the card needs to be a bit lighter if you want to have the separation with the background. But it's not necessary, right? I think that works. It's a nice new button. That way you have like a centered thing. I'm sorry, the thing that I have in mind will not work for what you have here. It's not an option. So the thing that I have in mind, what I talked about on Tuesday, last Tuesday, which is the layout. I put 20 on everything, yeah. Like 20 on the sidebar, 20 on the background, 20 on the header, no shadows on anything. Because shadows are not used anymore. We don't like shadows. Can you fucking scroll, please? Second, right, these things that we talked about last time. What I would do is this as your main thing. So you have you have your base navigation. You don't have the subheader, right? That's your main thing. However, I would have this set up, and this one would use not this one. I would probably do something like this, but that would be a bit complicated to manage, knowing how you have created the entirety of the pages. The layout is a bit different than this, but that's the thing that I would go for specifically in terms of overall layout. So you have, it's not so hard, but because you have, I mean, it just means that you need to add like a background to your content wrapper, which is not the case currently. And also your content wrapper is using the entirety of the page with a lot of spacing margin on the left side. No, that's not 20. That's not 20, and this is not 20 either. So this one is 40. The lightest one is 40, which means that the cards that you need to have on top of it needs to be either darker or lighter. And so on our case, you would go darker. And the sidebars is 24, but 24 is very much the same thing as 20. I mean, very close, at least. So yeah, and then this one is currently using my 20 here, so maybe you go 50. 50 is 32. You go for 32. Just creating a separation. And so you either do that as your main thing, or you have it with an anchor at the bottom, which is what I like most of the time, because that center frame for everything is better. I mean,
Will Alexander beneficiate X1, who is the most famous person on the planet right now. Don't fool yourself, it's Tate, isn't it? D-man looks like a milked apostrophe and made money in the weapon business, isn't it so? D-man and his brother have dominated the internet. At Marxus and Parker, you agree?
I don't know. Alexander Bennett people, come on in. How are you? Thank you for the bits. You mean when you highlight with like an eyedropper? You're picking up this on your screen? Yeah, it's not the same thing. Mark Simpson Parker, I can't see messages for that person, yes. Right, so this is, did you use 20 on this one? Do we have Frog Puker and Mark Simpson Parker in the chat that have been sending messages that I haven't seen? Or Will Alexander, are you just fucking with me? That's my lightest color. So this is 32 by 32. 32 by 32. 32, right? 32. That's my lightest right here. Then here is 24. That's the base. That seems similar, at least to me. It's also very weird on that screen. But Will Alexander Benotti, how are you? How have you been? How was your day? How was your weekend? It's Monday, I think. It's Monday. Good. Maybe your screen is different than mine. I also know that the screen that I see on the PC, right? So the capture card is more yellowish than what I'm seeing in real life. So the tone that I see on that fucking monitor is way more cooler than the tone that I see on the screen of the stream. So different. Yeah, it seems lighter on your side, yes. 100%. But when I'm looking at these two, right, that's the right same color. You know what? I send you this, that you have the values. I don't know if that helps in any ways, but maybe that will look lighter on your side as well. That can help. I don't know. Sorry. What? And merely streaming, interesting. In my stuff is, I wish I had like a thing. For anyone who is a dev right here, I know that there are tools for Chrome that helps you to get basically the console in a easier to manage thing, but I forgot what the name of the add-ons are. So if you are using these, I would love for you to share. And I hear yes, even though I think you dropped in an ad low. Sorry about that. I always do 1280. Yes, that's the regular thing. Yes, that's true. That's easier to manage, as in getting the ability to not have to look for things in here, right? So basically when I go to Peeper, for example, and I get the general value, I could say, well, we are using this specific value right now, the 2020, and I want to edit that, and so I just click on that, edit that thing, and it's edit across the website, rather than having to go through the console, look for things, find the right elements, and then go through the styles and pick the right background and change it for something different, right? So that's what I say, easier to manage. I do remember that there was add-ons that helped you to preload CSS if you wanted to, not preload, like override
Currently running on
CSS.
2 hours of sleep, suicidal thoughts, and an Oreo, and I'm ready to fight God or become him.
Really good, Hedgehog. Welcome on in. How are you? Thank you for the bits, I appreciate it. Mashable. Have a good sleep. I don't know what's wrong with you, but I appreciate you being here. It's your first time chatting as well, so I'm guessing you're probably coming from the raid with Honey. But if that's not the case, how did you find the stream? I kinda wanna know. That's very dark as a background, Stony. Interesting. Well, we'll go on in. Not that bad. That's good. That's good to hear. So it was my birthday. Happy birthday. 1 day late, but that's good. That's my usual amount of time in between all that. Was it worth it though? I don't know. Get recommended all type of funny channels. Well, we're not really a funny channel. I mean, it can be fun if you want to, but we are doing design stuff most of the time. You went back to 8% for the background thingy. Stony. And Lee Creative. Well, come on in. How are you? And Holly, have a good bedtime. Appreciate you being here. Have a good lurk if you want to lurk. If you don't want to lurk, have a good sleep. Thanks a lot for the raid again. Yeah, take care of yourself. Your eyes. You don't need to. Don't think about your eyes. Think about your users' eyes. Most important, right? Your users are the people who will see the things, and so if you have more contrast in between your elements, they will have a bit better, easier time to navigate your platform, right? So, don't apologize for being on another country. That makes a lot of sense. And also, Study, you're just not used to it, right? If it was me, I would match the black that we have on Chrome at the top right here, right? So different colors, different shit. It is light. That's the goal. I mean, you haven't slept in 36 hours, honey, so that makes sense. It's 1:30 for you, so you are in like Malaysia, Mashable, right? That's the location that I have in mind. Singapore. Singapore's time, yeah. Close. Not exactly aligned, but close. Nice. I really want to visit Singapore at some point. Right now it's just complicated. Yeah. Have a good rest of your day, Ollie. Thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate you. And yeah, take care of yourself. Same for you, Ollie. Sleep well. So that's very dark. That is very dark. That was bright. That is bright. Don't use that. That's way too much. Aiden, Kane, welcome back. You scared me. But that's basically it, right? That's the base. You get these with a bit of a radius right there at this corner right here to get your overall card that we have here. That's your main stuff, and maybe you get like a bit of a space on the right side as well. But yeah, it's just easy manipulation. You could play with these. So let me do that. Your background is what right now? You're using the darkest one that you had before, right? You're using the regular 8% thingy. Okay, so have a good read, Aiden. So you could do that if you wanted to. Well, that was pretty accurate. So instead of using HSL and bumping the lightness, if you want to, you could use a bit. Yeah, you could use 16. 16 is fine. Because we use 8 inside, you should use more than 16, but for now, good. So you could, the technicality of things, you could do that. Right, if you wanted to create like shades and values, you can use, instead of having like highlighted, by the way, use 10, I should have used 12 right here to get the same bump every time. You can use white in terms of your main color, and then you use opacity to define the highlightness of the thing, meaning that if at some point you want to have like a light mode, you can swap the white for pure black and it would work as well, right? So if we do the experiment with the pure white, which is fine, go to white on this side, and then if you select everything, and instead of white here we get to go to black, we get that same gradient of things, and so you just have to change one value on your theme, right? You change the background value, and then you change your overlay-ish type of tint value. And so from pure white to pure black, but with the opacity, you get the same thing by just swapping two values in your system. That's an option. However, if you do that, you need to be extremely sure that any content that is scrolling is really encapsulated in a div and cannot go through or go to something else. The main point with this is, let's say you have your card that you designed last time, right? And you define that your you just duplicate this one as well. You define that your main content in terms of card background is this thing. That's your main content, right? You just have like a white of 8%. Let's say on top of that you have your card for your user base, and so your card in itself is basically using the 8% as well, but because it's transparency mode, it will always have more contrast with the background because of the 8%. It's not good enough in terms of accessibility per se, right? We lose a lot of things, so maybe on this one you need to go to 12, which in reality, right, when you look at 12 compared to 12 on top of 8, we have a bit of combination amount, which means that this one looks lighter than the other one. So with that thing, you will have, if you have things on top of things on top of things on top of things, at some point you have some issues with the transparency and you end up with something like this. So if your text is white on top of that because you're in dark mode, it's fucked up, you can't see shit. Right, so it's the main issue that you may have or encounter with that system. But overall, that's a system that works in most of the use cases that you will have, and I don't think it's a bad system. It's just give you just an opacity thing and 2 colors to manage. You have your background color, and then it's just the opacity that is on top of it. And it's the same thing, right, for the light mode. So if we swap that for pure white on this, and right, we'll get the same value. However, the thing that I don't like about this is we do a full reverse in terms of color, which means that the recommended values for how to design a dark mode is not respected. But it's just an easy thing and it works. So if you don't want to take too much time with the different themes, you can do that. That also means that as long as, because I know that you're using the HSL values, as long as you define the right like basic value in the light value for your background colors, then you get that highlight effect that still works. But you should export from Figma for sure, but you need to take the recommendation from Dribble. I forgot how much it is. It's now like a 1600 width recommended, and they don't really have height recommendation anymore. They used to, they don't. But yeah. What do you mean 50% 0.1? That's 50%? But yeah, 1600. A bit fat. I don't know if I would say 1500 is enough or is good. 1600 is fine. I forgot the format. But that's about it. I know that I've created one. I mean, they have one right here, and they used yeah, 1200. So you could do that. You could do way further up. You could also do way longer if you wanted to. It will just crop, and then the zoomed in will have like the entirety of the thing. Never send Figma link. That's the goal, specifically for new employers, because maybe they don't know how to use Figma, and so they will be lost. So did you do that for this as well? Is the opacity things on everything? Export's pretty. I mean, if you post on Dribbble through this, you then have access to it at all times, and people can just click on the link and have access to it. So rather than sending a PDF that may not load or may not be downloaded from the email that you send, you can just click on the link, and that would be easier. You can combine both if you wanted to. You can create like a deck, PDF deck from Figma, that showcase some of your work, and then attach it to the email saying like, my stuff is available on Dribble. However, if you prefer to download it, you can download the attached file to this email. I don't know exactly how it's called, all that. And you have the thing. So if everything is paper, that means that this section right here has that 55% opacity, 55% lightness and 1% opacity, and so that goes through. Yeah, that makes sense. So these ones don't, for some reason. I don't know exactly, but you see how the the shadow is basically more visible on that because the background is lighter. You can see the shadow. I would still have that cards lighter, but that make it easier to see that it's bumped. Otherwise, if it's too dark, you get like a bit of a hard time to visualize the background thing. However, every time that I click on the user, I get the full name, so I don't know if you want to encrypt that. But yeah, maybe the cards here needs to get the same paper thingy. I don't know if that's the case. I think that is, but yeah. You said what? You said 55%? 55% and opacity being 0.1. Yeah, that's okay-ish. That would mean that the shadows that we added needs to be transformed a bit, but that way it's like highlighted on top of the content. Give me a minute, I need a pee. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So I go back to Eagle rather than Phoenix, right? That's the main thing. Still visible though. I can still see everything. I mean, I just have 3 users, but I see their names. We used to have one. You don't have me in the user anymore, Stony. That makes no sense. Should be here. I just disappeared. Oh shit, there was an app that was good, but they closed out. What's the name of the fucking thing? I spent so much in the app. It's not Uber Eats. No, they still exist. No, it's one that was something eat or something, or eat something. It's a German company, so I think they are still, or they were still up in Germany, but they just closed in France. HelloFresh app is okay. It's not good, but it's okay. So if you want to redesign that, it's a good thing. Delivery is good. Like, the redesign wouldn't help in any way. Like, even my Uber Eats delivery not good. HelloFresh is okay to redesign, I would say. But there is like there is another one. There is one that I would love to. One that I would love to show you, just I don't exactly know where. Do you mean, do I know DoorDash? Yes, I do, but I don't know if you meant that that something happened to them. I fucking forgot the name. I know DoorDash, but we don't really have them here. Was this the name? Was not Take It Easy. I know you can't see shit. Because that's InDriver is a very specific thing. It's not. I don't think it's a good. Wasn't Just Eat? Was it Just Eat? No, wasn't Just Eat. I need to find the fucking name of that app now. That's my main issue here, right? I know the fucking color, I know the logo, I know how it looked at the time, but now it's just disappeared from my brain. The name just like not there. Where the fuck is it? But to answer your question, if you want to create like a redesigned project for your portfolio, that's a good idea overall, but it's also not a really good idea unless you have like a lot of content about why you came up with the solution and the research that you did and all that. Because if you just did like a redesign for a redesign, then you might end up with some of the issues that we've seen in some other recommendation thingy that happened in the past. We talked about it before, but yeah. So, half speaking in auto mode right now. It's a green app with a logo that is very similar in color to the old Deliveroo color. It's just yeah, nah, that won't help. Anyways. It's not E24. It's not that. So yeah, what I want to say is, if you want to have like a redesign project for your portfolio to make sure that you can showcase that you have the skills to do a redesign entirely from point A to point B. I used to do them for my portfolio specifically, and I decided to go with apps that people don't know. The reason why is an app that people know, like Spotify or Facebook or YouTube or Google, which are the main ones that people are redesigning. The reason why they are still popular in their work is because the design doesn't need to be changed. There are some things here and there that needs to be fixed, but most of the app is good. And so some redesigns that are good are things where the entirety of the app that the person wants to redesign is still present, but they decide to go into one very specific use case that is a pain on their side, and they say, well, on my side I have this issue with that app, and so I decided to assimilate the design system, the design language, the way that they do their thing, and then create an upgraded version of that specific feature to make sure that my use case was met and appropriate or like work overall for that specific use case. And so it's not a redesign, it's a UX fix, which is an interesting thing, because if you want to do that, and if you want to do that well, you need to have, as I said, like a lot of research explaining what was your mindset when you arrive on the app for the first time and you said, well, this thing doesn't work for me, and you used it the second time and you said, well, this thing doesn't fucking work for me, and then the third time, and then after like 10, 12, 15 times, you say, well, I need to work on this potential solution that I can potentially send to the company. And so when you do that, you need to do the research on why that doesn't work, what could work. Does the competition has like a very similar thing that can work, that you could be inspired by? From like user research, are you the only one who has that main issue, or have you seen other people complain about that specific feature as well? All these things, right? For example, if you were to do a Figma redesign, going with what we talked about earlier, if I were to do a Figma redesign, I will just create a feature upgrade on the way that Figma is using the displayed values. Rather than using pixels, I would use EMs or REMs, and so defining an entirely new set of features similarly to the nudge amount to make sure that the user have the ability to say, well, now I have my EMs values that are like a flexible values that help us to create design. So that's a feature that is lacking in Figma that we have been asking for a long time. And so creating a redesign or a feature fix specifically for that thing, while still keeping the overall design of the app and the design language that they use, and making sure that it's work flawlessly with what they already have, makes more sense to me and prove, as to me at least as a potential employer, that you have the ability to adapt to a new team, to understand the current design language of the company, that you can assimilate the content really quickly, and then find a solution for something that is a pain point for you, but also for other users because you've done some research about that. So this is better, in my views, than just going in Facebook or VK or whatever and say, well, I just redesigned the home page, or a food app and just redesign the thing. It's, in my views, way better to go in an app that you use every day and say, this specific thing doesn't work, let's see if we can fix that. So I would recommend you to do that rather than try to get the like an entire app redesign, and so similarly, right, to that is new, sorry, similarly to this, on my old redesign that I did, we had like this banking app, which that was their homepage, and then I decided to go with this. And we talked about it before, right? It looked bad, but technically speaking and UXly speaking, it's good. It's better than what I found and created overall. That is not a good behavior for an app. This was a good thing, however. This was a good looking change on the password, but I just redesigned it, and there are no changes and no improvement really from the original to the second one. It was exactly the same thing, and so that has no benefits for hiring manager. Just see that, well, you have the ability to move from one design style to another design style. It doesn't mean that the new design style is better, it just means that you have the ability to change how things look without really thinking about it, and that's not good. It's not what you want to see. In terms of this project right here, for example, the design was outdated. The content was okay, but the design was outdated, and so what I did was bump it to a more up-to-date at the time type of design, which is still okay now. Not so good, but still okay now. But it's still just like taking the same content and applying new CSS, basically, which in terms of hireability, that means nothing. It just means that you can change styles. Whereas I don't have anything really that does that on my portfolio on Behance, but I think I have something on Dribble, however. However, this, for example, which is a very specific thing, like we have an app with sliding side trays, and I said, well, this is good, but it's not exactly what we want to have, and it's a combination of a bottom navigation and a side navigation, and I wanted to have everything in one place, so I decided to go with an expandable bottom navigation. So that means I had to do some research on accessibility of these types of navigations. I had to make sure that these types of things were or could work for what we wanted to do, and then put it in situation to make sure that it worked. And so there is like a lot of things that don't really make sense in terms of how the menu opens, how things are behaving, all that. But still, it's a research and it's a bit different than what we have here overall. Both work, it's just that this one is just to open the menu, you have to click here and not there. However, on this one, if you click on the face, which is the same thing that you clicked before, it just expands up. And so you can see the face that just slide in, and then the content just populate itself in that section. So it's a different type of usability and it's a different type of UX, but overall it's a better experience for the user because everything is packed. All the clicks are packed in the tiny thing at the bottom. That makes more sense. I wouldn't say that you need to test out the UX and search for problems to solve on unpopular apps. I would say, what are the apps that you use every day or every week, or website that you use every day or every week, and what are the things that you would like to change on these things, right? So Figma, as I said earlier, changed from pixel to EMs. Easy fix, a lot of benefits. Let's say you are using Spotify as your main music service. Then maybe in Spotify there are things that you would love to be able to get rid of, or to modify in the way that they work, and so you can just do that. Maybe you are using, as I said, VK or right thing like this, and you say, well, maybe accessing my friends' spaces or platform or pages are difficult, so I would love to have like a quicker access to that. So you need to do a bit of research on what type of functionality would work with that. So but if we go back to here, right, we did like a bit of a design thingy to work with similar to Figma in light mode. It's originally from a dark mode thing. It's not identical to how Figma is displayed, but it's closer to Framer overall. That's a detail. But still, right, we have a bit of a better overall thing. And if I select that section right here, it's the same thing as here, it's just organized differently. Let's do a screenshot so that we can have them side by side. You know what? So right now we have, in Figma at least, we have X and Y, which is again the same thing. Width and height, which should be these two, but might we change that? So we have width and height right there. And then you have fill and hug, which are two different type of values. We do need this one though. It's in some specific place spots. Move you here out of there. And then we have two of these. I won't change the icon right there. It's not. Don't add the icon in the front. Right, these basically are reusing that interface, and that is just a redesign. And that doesn't add any value. However, let's say now I'm thinking, well, instead of pixels, I need variable values. How do I do that? So that's when the thinking happens, right? So what type of things would be impacted by REMs? I know that my width and height would probably be impacted by REM. However, my positioning on the page might not, but might. The way that it's stretching is not really impacted, and the rotation and the amount of radius might be impacted. So from what I'm seeing right now, I'm thinking like these two. By the way, let's change that to R for radius. These two things could be here, and we could have something at the top that may not have like a minus. Initially, we can't really change that value here. And then here we are in pixels. So we have a drop down here that would give us the ability to swap these for REMs. So if you do that, then how does REM work for the value? What do you define? Do you define something in the settings? Do you define something in that like inspector column? Do you define something somewhere else? That's the research that you need to do. Maybe it's just here, and it's just like we have a secondary thing, and in there you have your value for 1 REM equals something. So my base is 16 pixels, right? Can do that. Maybe they don't have 16 don't have like a input field like this. Yeah. Do I have that? I do. Right, so maybe you said REM base is 16, and so if base is 16, then this is a lot. Position at like 200, and maybe this one is 200, so that's like position at 16. And that value here, given in width, and then this one is 16 in height, right? But it changes automatically with the value that is here, and so maybe the important stuff changes in terms of positioning. I don't know. That's an option. I don't think it's the right idea right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no good. But maybe. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we have another feature of defining how the radius styles work. Maybe we define like a new feature in Figma for radius styles. That works. You say, should I put paragraphs of text with my thought about why we designed it? Yes, kinda. You don't need a lot of words, but you kind of need to explain your train of thoughts and saying, well, in here, similarly to that, right? Wanted to stop using the sidebar rag to create expandable foldable tabs. That was the main topic of this one. What do you think of it? Right, that's the base. I didn't need more than that because there was not really more than that happening on that specific thing. However, there are a lot of people in Behance specifically that have the ability to just showcase how and what they think about, and how they explain it is pretty good. I think I shared a case study not so long ago about, I think I shared it in the Discord, but right now I'm not sure. So, and Stony, what was the vulnerability that you found? What the fuck is that shit? I wish there was a search on on the appreciated list. Because you can't control F on that thing, can you? You can. Maybe it was this one? I don't think so. Clicking on all the one that have case right now. I think that's the phone case. Yeah, this one had like a lot of content. It's in Spanish, so I didn't really understood what it talked about, but there was a lot of research in this one. This one as well, but it's more visual case. So this one is a good example of what I'm, as someone who is more visually driven, expect to see. Right, you have problem, potential solutions, design process that is bullshit, is the same thing on all of the thing. Then surveys, which is basically the research that that person said, the result of the survey, what are the insights, what are the possible solutions, which basically should take back to what it's here. And then the customer use, like customer journey maps, that would be nice. User flows for the basic thing of what they want to do, and then some design things. And so that's where, or why I would more likely go with a person like this one, because I have the context at the top, and then the rest is just how things look and what we decided to go for, how they work together, how they don't work together. There is no more text or explanation, right? There is just this. So this is pretty neat overall. So here the link on this one as well. If you just want to look through it, you can, but it's in Spanish, as I said. And then the last one is, I just closed it. I did not. Yeah, then we have the chat right there. But yeah, no, the last one was another one which I think I shared in the resource or inspiration one somewhere, somehow, at some point, not so long ago. But also, not so far away. Yeah. I mean, I don't hire with work, that's the thing. I hire with fit, personal fit, which is very, very difficult and very different than the regular thinking. So personal fit is just, we have a call, and if I feel like we could work together, if I feel like that you could work with me and I can work with you, right, with reciprocity, and then that you have the ability to learn quickly, then I don't give a shit about your projects. Like to see them, like if you have skills already, that's good. But also, if you have skills already, you get some biases. So it depends on what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for juniors, then I want someone who doesn't have any biases. If I'm looking for someone who is more experimented, then I'm looking for someone that is more experimented. I don't fucking know how to explain that. I will. It means that the thing that I'm looking for is different. It's not someone who will learn. It's someone that will be ready to work in the first 2 weeks. So yes, big company really hire juniors. Often, it's just you need to find the right company at the right time, and that can work. But yeah. So how do you check the ability to learn fast? The thing is, if you wanna know someone can learn is how much time did they take to get from their first design to their second design, and can you see differences in between the two, right? So if just my stuff again, it's a good example overall. And I show you basically. So I show you that as a design overall, and that's my proudest work at the time. And then so that's work number one, that's a specific type of design, and then I show you this right after. And so you see that there are some differences and improvements in the shot themselves. Doesn't mean it's good, but there are something that happened. And then I see like how much time passed in between these two things, and then in between this one and this one potentially, and maybe in between this one and this one, right? So there was like 1 year in between, basically 3 years for the other one and 2 years for this one's. And so that's an interesting type of design overall. It's more, how can I say, app design oriented, right? So that's very, very simple. Then you move to this, and you can see that I can take, as I said earlier, you can take a design and just take the content, replace it in something that makes more sense for the current times. You get these. So that is improvement. And then you have curiosity and research and all that. And then some point you have other things that helps you to understand, well, there are things that this person is interested in this,
Fruity Seater just resubscribed for 6 months. AAOAIZA.
Thanks a lot for the resub, I appreciate it. It is. But yes, there are some improvement right now. We talked about that last time when we looked at this specific design. There are a lot of shit in here that I would be changing in terms of how things work, and in terms of accessibility of icons and all that. We need bigger stuff at that instant on that specific design. But that's improvement, right? And so if I go to let's check that. Let's see. I don't know who that is. So, right, I picked like Sony, that's not me. I'm not crashing the browser. Right, so here I can see one project from that person. I won't judge anything, but I just want to see. So we have an app design, right, with things inside of it. So I have all that. That has been posted in April 2nd, 2015, right? That's the thing that I want to know. And then I want to move to the next project that they have posted on Behance and look through it and see if it's a similar type of project or if it's very different. It seems to me that it's very different. Interesting. And then I'm looking at all that, and at the end, I just want to know, when was that posted? So that was May 13th, 2015. So basically a month later, they posted that one. That doesn't mean that they just did that in a month. That means that maybe they finished this one a month later, or they had they were allowed to post that. But I see different things in the two projects, and so I can do the same thing, or maybe I can find like an other thumbnail that speaks to me a bit more. Let's say this one, because I know exactly how that looks. It's graphic design type of work, but I kind of love the overall theme that they have. And then what I'm doing is the same thing, right? I'm going through and checking the date, which is 2019, May, the same month, but 2019, so 4 years later, right? So in 4 years, I can see that they have a lot of improvement happen compared to the first thing that they have on Behance, right? They could have done like me and get rid of the old project that don't matters to them anymore, but they didn't, or at least they kept some of it. And so these are really cool improvement, right? And so I can see that in 4 years we had like a lot of improvement, right? So that's a 4-year thing. And then now what I can see from the thumbnail, right? This is Neo Brutalism, this is new design, this is flat-ish for startups, this is Huawei corporations. They work for big companies. This is the same type of, these three are the same type of thing. This is a Russian company. So they work for a lot of different companies, and maybe in all of that, if I'm looking closely, I can find a thing that is, can I say that? Like a theme overall. Like they like interesting fonts. They also like very much slim and thin lines. They like brilliant colors, they like bright colors, and so all of that are things that I can say I would love to have in some of the apps that we do. So maybe it could be someone that I can hire, and I don't have the need to like do a whole resume, portfolio, interview type of thing. It's just, from what I've seen here, there is a lot of improvement, and yeah, it worked. Right? Let me catch up with chat because you've been speaking and I haven't been reading. So for the animated video, they use, animated images, they use GIFs or videos. That's basically what happens. It's the easiest thing. And so, Stoney, you said server needs to communicate with your server on its own behalf, and I used an account. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's indeed not the best thing. Thanks a lot again for the resub, I appreciate. And Goofy, hi, welcome on in. Struck fingers, yes. Not the best access to all stuff, indeed. Oh shit. Headache is still there. But yeah. And for this, you asked also, do I do local side project? No. No, but I need to redo my business cards at some point, and so I have some ideas. So I'm using this website most of the time, which currently doesn't work because ad blockers are good, I'm guessing. Yeah. They already have all my information. It's like, shut the fuck up. Can you fucking click the buttons? Kill people. Definitely kill people. Why is that not working? Anyways, so Moo is the best-ish website that I have for business card because it's cheaper, but it's also good. I don't know them, but it could be interesting. If you have a link, Goofy, I would love to say. Thing is, it's just the loading stuff. That was an easy thing to click on. Okay, that's good. So the thing that I want to have is they have like really cool, interesting business cards, and like these ones are tiny as it's tiny, like very much like my watch band width. So that's really interesting, and I love these type of cards. They also have square business cards, which I think are interesting. But the thing that I want to do, and that's a bit of a more complicated thing, is an holographic foil type of blend. So I have this specific brand that I love, and I worked with them multiple times, but they have these foil print thingy, and I kind of want to have like a matte black business card with that foil on my logo in the center, and then on the back the same thing for the logo at the top, just the A, and yeah, that's all. And then I would need to like have with me at all times a white marker, that's the goal, to be able to write things on the back of the cards if that's needed. But yeah, that's my main that's my main stuff. And so, for example, what we did with them, I don't know if they kept it here, because we did that a long time ago. So we did this one, and we also did. They didn't. They didn't keep it. Yes, we did this one. That one's a very cool illustration in gold foil. Pretty nice. We did that with Margot, which came in chat at some point. That website is cool. Ah, shit. It's neat. Yeah. So, that's a nice thing. Anyways. So yeah. There are white markers that are thin enough, yes. yes. They are. And then QR code are not exactly my stuff. But an NFC tag could be really cool. I think, however, the NFC tag could be on the cards older, right? So you have the business card in a tiny box. That's something that we do. And we just have like an NFC tag on the side of it. And then you can say, well, you can bob on that if you don't want to have the paper version of my business card. And they get all your information in one tap. And that's easy to get. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. So I've seen their work, yes. I have seen that. And what did you say? You said... So the link doesn't help. That's the thing. The debate with the QR code on business card or on flyers or on everything is it is faster to flash a QR code rather than to type an URL. However, with the new updates of Google Lens and Apple lenses, basically on your camera, if you put your fucking phone in camera view and you're on something that is readable, it will tell you, oh, there is text right there. Do you want to copy that? And you can type on it and just say, yeah, I want to copy that, please. That gives you this, for example. Right? Got that on my box, gives you this, you can copy, paste, look up, go in whatever, and it goes straight to the thing that you want it to go to, and you don't need, like, it's faster than the QR code. A lot of people don't think about it, but yeah. The QR code is just weird. It's a weird thing that people don't really use. People don't know that they have a QR code reader in their phone most of the time. If you're on iPhone, I think now it's good, but before that you needed to have an external app to read your QR codes. On Android it was like, I mean, on Xiaomi phones it was defaulted inside. It's like built in the camera app, good stuff. But yeah, it's just it's an easy thing, and it's better to have like the link in plain text and have your camera say, oh, there is text, do you want to go there? Or recognize that there is like a link and then say go there. Very, very simple thing. But yeah, that's the reason why we don't like QR codes, most likely. What did you say about these? You said that the mobile version was really interesting as well? What do you mean by interactive checkboxes? Because Asana doesn't have. I mean these? That's neat. Every time that you have all things selected, it changes the picture. That's neat. They have a bit of an overlap issue when they load. You can see that this one loaded. Yeah, the mobile version here. What about it? Asana is great. Asana is a great thing. Similarly to what I said earlier, right? The entirety of the app is very much black and white. Oh. On Spin. Yeah. Yeah, I like their website. That's a bit weird overall, but I like the website over landing page. Yeah, that's a neat design stuff. They have sound at the same time, which I can't really have, but yeah. You mean this one on a mobile version, Goofy, or was you speaking about something else that I closed already and I absolutely forgot then? And you said you forgot about what you were saying about the mobile version. You said... Oh, you said test mobile on the website that I was on, which I think was something else. The one with a green bar. Is it Margot's? This one? Nah, not this one. This one is broken on mobile. Green nav bar. This one? Absolutely forgot. What, where? I mean, before that we were on Behance, so I don't think. I can't remember a website with a green nav bar. Like it doesn't. Yeah, nah. I don't remember. Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon, and thanks a lot for the resub. I appreciate it. Oh, moo! Why did you want to have the website tested in mobile? forgot that we went here. These ones are cool. These ones are very, very cool. So these are stacked paper, and then they have like a layer of white paper on the outside and a layer of colored paper in the center, meaning that the cards are fucking heavy and thick, but it looks very cool, and so you can do a lot of things with that, with a lot of really interesting paper texture, all that. It's pretty cool. Because the desktop has this stacked nav bar navigation. Oh, you mean this? Ah. Yeah, and so here we just have regular sidebars. Yeah. That's good though. I don't think it can be done, but maybe. Oh shit. Headache just strand of headache just said, you know what? Let's hit him now. Yeah. I don't know if you can do that though. I mean, you could do that after the fact, right? You could easily get your 100 or 200 things and then draw on them. The main thing is, if you have that, that doesn't really add any value to your cards, because in order to get the pictures, you need to have at least 10 to 15 to 20 cards together to get like a bit of a picture type of thing. So difficult to justify to make someone pay a bit more just for that, right? I think weird, difficult. Anyways. Sorry. Sony, would we have the ability to have a bit of a better, thank you, a better transition in between pages, or is that not an option? Right, because when we go to the encoder settings we have this flash of stuff, and the fact that the content is flashing doesn't really annoy me, but the fact that the background is sometimes flashing, that could be neat to just refresh content and keep outer things. I talked about that before. I'll show you that then. There was, or there is, like a website that can would it be possible to not have it that way? I shared it with one of my devs. and we have a lot of shit shared. But the thing, no. No. Yeah, I'm seeing things that just bring back memory of weird ass discussion. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I will take a look at the device pages. I just want to find that bitch. Animation transition thingy. It's like a... No, it's not UI balls, but it's in the same realms of UI balls. Oh, shit. I can't find it. That pisses me off. I know I talked about it. I forgot when. That's the thing. It's just taking memories. Yeah, it's like a name like Lodi or shit like that. What did you say? You said just look at the devices page. That's the flash that I want to avoid. But yeah, that page is good. That page is cool. I have most of the things that we need, and like that transition flash in the background is the thing that I don't want to see. It's so subtle. The fact that the rest of the UI is staying in place, that's good. That's what I want, right? Even though there is still a flash on the entirety of the content, which is a bit annoying. But get a nice transition type of thing. I don't know. Ugh. There is like a thing. But yeah, no, I forgot. It's fine. I will not find a solution right now. But yeah, it's a thing that we probably shared in the resources, by the way. Know where it is. That's the thing. It's fucking annoying. And the second element. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What is in the second element? maybe you can just do that and use a smooth CSS transition to the page load so that we can have like instant snow flashes for the UI and then the content is just fading out and fading in. I don't know. Could be a thing. Could be a very easy thing to do, potentially. There was like a website I have, like, as always, I have a thing in my head that is like a yellowish type of page. But can't find it. Basically like this, but it's not this one. And I can click on it, but it's not this one. Yeah. One day my memory will be better. Hello. Don't use that though. Find shit. Don't find shit. Anyways. I think you did. I think you did. Let me just refresh so that I don't have anything cached. Yeah. So that's better. That's better because that way the navigation doesn't flash at all. And even if the content section has like a flash with what's inside, then we kind of don't give a shit. It's fine. You could have some grid animation on loading, but that's for later. And there's like subtle thing that are not really improving stuff anyways, so you're good. One thing that I could tell you to do that could be like an easy thing to have would be to take one of these and add like an effect on the card itself. So right now we would just have the bottom section, but maybe on hover you can go to 0.3, for example. Right, so while hovering you have that at 0.3 in opacity, meaning that it's just highlighted, and when you go out you have a bit of a fade in between the two. So it's just in hover state for your cards, giving the ability to get the visibility of things pretty. And yeah, I think that would be my best guess right there. It's a very simple thing, right? But it helps to know where your fucking pointer is, because if I'm just here, right, you can see that the button has the same effect, so getting that as well can help. So yeah, just having this hover state will help you 100% for sure. What do you mean fake items? Like the bunny video? What you talking about? It's not what you're talking about? Oh. Tired. Much tired. Oh, these things, yes. These are cool. These are cool indeed. However, with the loading time of your pages, they are useless because they would be instant. Like, unless you have a bad connection, it would be instant. So I don't know if that's a good idea. You can add that anyways. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. It's a good idea. Anyways. Anytime. I'll send you to someone, which I think is lurking. But yeah, I think I'm too tired to. And headache is still there, so yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. So let's rate. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it as always. This is the end of the stream, so if you enjoy your stay, please click on that follow button. That would be highly appreciated. If you already did, thank you. If you didn't, what are you waiting for? Kidding? Not really. We need the followers, we don't need the subs, so if you want to support the channel, you can follow. It's highly appreciated. You can join the Discord if you really want to have like more insights, articles, other things available to you. And yeah. Already it's been 4 hours, sorry, it's a lot. 4 hours with a headache and a full light in my face. That's a lot. But yeah, as always, this is the red message for subs, this is the red message for non-subs, and if you want to support me in another way, you can click on one of these links. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow though, at 4:30 PM UTC. So regular time compared to today. And yeah, what do you mean wait? Come on. The countdown is going. Stony, you are running out of time. I need to say bye. Have fun. See you.